Issa? Yes. Issa Galloway.
Issa Galloway defines the mission.
Welcome back to Ramadan Recap, where in about 10 minutes we break down the most impactful news stories of the day so you don't have to. Getting into our first story, it's more flip-flopping from our president. The latest reversal is on tariffs against Mexico and Canada. It's coming just 2 days after the president threatened 25% tariffs on all imports from both our southern and northern neighbors. Now, these tariffs would threaten to disrupt more than $1.3 billion in annual trade in North America. This is the second month-long tariff reprieve or expansion that he has given Canada and Mexico, both of which were at the very last minute before the tariffs would take effect. Our next story is an update from yesterday's episode where Texas Representative Al Green protested the State of the Union speech and was thrown out. If you remember, he was protesting the GOP and the president's moves against Medicaid and Social Security. Well, we have 10 Democrats who voted to censure Al Green, and I'm going to leave their contact information based on this link here in the show notes so you can let those Democrats know what you think. Now, the next story we have is quite alarming. The Senate votes to remove a rule that bans debanking. Now, debanking is a practice where banks, financial institutions, payment processors, and even certain services in digital finance, for instance, things like cryptocurrency platforms, can actually deny to serve clients based on political, reputational, or ideological grounds. That is huge news because Muslims have already reported a lot of problems of banking while Muslim. Now, the next story here is the U.S. State Department is creating a new program. Marco Rubio is here talking about it called Catch and Revoke. This is an obvious callback to the infamous catch and release immigration policy that has been in the news over and over and over again, except this one is an AI-driven deportation program, which in part focuses on searching social media to identify and cancel the visas of foreign nationals who, get this is a direct quote, appear pro-Hamas or to support other designated terrorist groups. Our next story is a new travel ban is being floated by the president. This time it is focusing on people who have been cleared for resettlement as refugees or who are on special immigrant visas. As of the time of this report, the ban will focus on people from Afghanistan and Pakistan, preventing them from entering the U.S. If or when imposed, though, it could affect tens of thousands of Afghanis in particular, and sources have not ruled out that the list of countries could be expanded. Here is another flip-flop, or maybe more accurately to say a delay. The White House has decided not to sign the executive order to dismantle the Department of Education today. Reports indicate that the Trump administration fears that there could be a lot of blowback, being that the political climate is hot and there's a lot of protesting and a lot of frustration with the administration. So they are working to develop, reportedly, messaging ahead so they could roll out this executive order at a better time. So just know that it's coming, not stopped. So, an attorney named Adam Steinbach with the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, aka FIRE, an organization I featured in yesterday's episode, has found this letter from the U.S. Attorney in D.C. Apparently, he is investigating Georgetown Law School, demanding that if DEI is found in your courses or teaching in any way, the law school should move swiftly to remove it. Now, sadly, this is not the only anti-woke or anti-DEI story we have for you today. The mayor of DC, Muriel Bowser, is reportedly planning to remove the BLM mural that you see on the ground here. So this is Muriel Bowser, what she looks like, and her official page as mayor. And her defense is fairly interesting. I'm going to read to you a quote that is of her on this issue. We have bigger fish to fry than fights over what has been very important to us and to the history, comma, and especially in our ability to keep our city safe during that time. That mural played a very important part, the mayor said. And then she continues, but now our focus is on making sure our residents and our economy survives. That's an interesting take. Our next story is from Gallup, and it is about new research, and it's about the opinions on sympathy. Note, this does not say support. It's focused on sympathy for Israel and juxtaposed with sympathy for Palestinians. Both of them are at their most elevated levels, you could say. So the way it breaks down here is 46% of Americans are reportedly sympathetic towards Israel, while 33% are sympathetic towards Palestinians. Now, this represents the lowest level of sympathy reported towards Israel since 2001 and the highest level of sympathy for Palestinians since the same time, 2001. Also of note, it is really important that you understand more Republicans have reported to be sympathetic for Israel, while more Democrats are sympathetic for Palestinians. You should also note that 55% of Americans in general support an independent state of Palestine. And then, of course, remember that these numbers are for U.S. adults, so they do not reflect either party's policy platform or foreign policy stances. Now, in our second to last story of the day, Trump, in his first month alone, has given over $10 billion in weapon sales to Israel. Now, the types of weapons are really important here because analysts are concerned that because of the 2,000-pound bombs, the Hellfire missiles, and other primarily offensive weaponry, that there could be new and possibly expanding conflicts in West Asia. That brings us to our last story of the day, and this is a still developing story, so it's hard to say for sure what this means. But Turkish armed forces have reportedly entered into Syria today, and however, this seems to be more likely to be a continuation of their PKK operation, which is taking place both in Syria and Iraq. Of note, there are some ceasefire um, rumors going around with Kurdish forces. I believe that is inside Turkey. But one thing to keep here is there also are rumors that Turkey could send troops to Ukraine. And I would say that while Turkey has the second largest standing force in NATO, only after the United States, this may indicate that the talk of taking Turkish troops to Ukraine may not happen because the Middle East tensions are extremely high right now. And we would do well to remember that the EU has consistently rejected Turkey from becoming a member, and that has likely hardened relations. I hope this episode of Ramadan Recap has been beneficial for you today. If you like what you saw, please like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you tomorrow.